Hello everyone, my name's Brian, and Pro Tour Lord of the Rings just happened. Part of Pro Tour Lord of the Rings was a modern section, and this is what I pulled from the modern area of the Pro Tour, which was the type of burn deck that has gotten very popular. Now, here's the thing. Burn, for the longest time, was one of those decks that would experiment with new tech, but generally would go back to the same 75 cards. However, it seems recently, Eidolon of the Great Revel has been removed in favor of something more like Rolling Vortex. Burn has always been a try and win as fast as you can game while ignoring most of the interaction's magic. However, with this version of the deck, and I have done some independent testing, it seems to be more of a meta hunter. It seems to be something that's trying to go after the decks that are doing the best and try and steal wins. However, I have to commend anyone who goes to the Pro Tour and brings a burn deck with them. Because think about it, when was the last time you saw a burn deck win something higher than an FNM? Personally, I never really see burn decks do better than, well, getting to the top 8, but not necessarily winning. But I suppose certain people are just trying to get to the top 8, not necessarily win the whole thing. However, burn did not make it into the top 8 of the Pro Tour, but it was around in varying degrees of success. So what I did is I took one of the lists that one of the pros used at the Pro Tour, and I decided to take it for a spin. I'm not going to edit this deck, which means we are going to do a league here today, which is rare for me, because this deck is so tuned for hunting the meta. If you show up with off-meta stuff, which is probably unlikely at a Pro Tour, it doesn't work. You know, Rolling Vortex only does so much when your opponent isn't casting free spells. So what's the difference between this and the burn that we've seen over the past 20 years? Well, we still have Goblin Guides and Monastery Swiftspear, but that's the entire creature package in the main. 8 creatures, that's all you get. Back in the day, Burn's creatures used to be its backbone, and the burn spells used to be how you got over the top. But this is playing so many lightning bolts, 4 lava bolts, 4 lightning spites, 4 rift bolts, 4 skewer the critics. It's just bolt on bolt on bolt on bolt. From there, life gain is very, very prevalent in modern right now. So we have 4 skull cracks and the aforementioned roiling vortexes in the main, because you have to stop people from gaining life at all if you want burn to work. Finally, we have Searing Blaze as some extra benefit removal, and Boros Charm because it still deals 4 damage. And then from there, we're playing 20 lands, which is 1 up from what I'm normally used to. Now, truth be told, I find this deck has no selection. I find that you do a lot of either flooding out or screwing. Now, I think that's more user error than the deck, composition itself, but we'll see if I get better as the league goes on. The sideboard, again, is highly specific for Sanctifier and Vex. Now, Sanctifier and Vex do great work against the top dog of the meta right now, Scam, because it allows you to go in and just stop their creatures from reanimating, and it also allows you to have protection from black and red, which is the primary colors of Scam. We have 2 core Firewalkers to try and gain some life back, and mirror matches, I guess, if you run into another burn deck. Smash to Smithereens, which are always good to have to take out artifacts. 2 Wear Tears, because sometimes enchantments need to go as well. 2 Deflecting Palms, because the Uno reverse card will forever be funny. Also, it's really good against things like Hammer Time. And 3 Chalice of the Voids, because the Rhino deck is also very, very popular. You're never going to want to put this in your deck and put it on 1, because you're playing 16 1-drops. But stopping Rhinos is very important, because once they have something with 3 or more power on the field, what's left of your creature base isn't going to get past. Now, longtime viewers of my channel will know I play a modified version of Burn that looks like this. This is my personal burn deck that I use to great success, and you can tell it's similar. It plays even more 1-drops, but again, I have Dragon Rage Channelers, I have Ragavans, I have Eidolons, I still have Goblin Guides and Swifties. And this new Burn Pro Tour version is, while still it's burn at its core, and it's actually closer to stock burn than my list is, it's a very different way to play, and I've had to really adjust how I think about it. So let's hop into a league. Let's see if any monkey can pilot a Pro Tour deck to a decent finish, knowing full well that the Pro Tour that had a modern event in it just happened. So we're going to be running into a lot of people running the Pro Tour list because, let's be honest, quite a good amount of us net deck. All right, so let's go ahead and hop right in. Join me, won't you? All right, here we are, first match of the league, and unsurprisingly, we lose the die roll. Good for us. One land. So I've been doing some testing with this deck. It seems as though if you keep a one-lander, you never draw lands. If you mulligan one-landers, you never draw spells. We're going to try this because we do have quite a few one-drops. We really only have 2/2 drops, and land destruction is not terribly common in Modern. Our opponent mulled to 5, which is great for us, unless he's on Rhinos and just... Seven of Souls. On what? Human. Oh, humans. Esper Sentinel. Could be Hammer Time. I think we just let them redraw a card. We a second land, though. You know what? I want to try and keep them a little screwed. I'm just going to go ahead and bolt this thing while the bolting's good. This could still be humans. They did have to mull all the way down to 5, so they get a card back. They essentially gain 3 life off of this, but Esper Sentinel's off the field. Next turn, we can do all sorts of fun stuff, although unless they play something particularly scary, yeah, this is definitely just humans. We'll probably just play Vortex. Sanctifier in the main. Oh man, this is what the modern meta has come to. All right, so we just start dealing them some damage. Play a mountain. We'll, let's see. I'm gonna play the Goblin Guide and see if it ever gets a cheeky hit in, and I'm gonna suspend the Rift Bolt before I can no longer suspend it because of my own rolling vortex. I'm hoping just to keep Sanctifier on defense, and I'm hoping to draw enough burn to win this opening game before they go off the rails with like counters and stuff. Hopeful Initiate. That's fascinating. Another Hopeful Initiate. So suddenly things got big. They come screaming in for 2. Can't block that. All right. We get to bolt their face, and then we start trying to figure out the quickest way to get the most burn in. The other thing about Hopeful Initiate is it can destroy our roiling vortexes, which is not great. We have 9 damage in hand. Goblin Guide's got to be on defense duty to try and stop 2 damage. So they can spend all turn blowing up a roiling vortex. I don't think we roiling vortex yet. I think we just Lava Spike and Skewer. We got him to 11. We have another 7 damage in hand. So we still need to find 4 more. And I don't think Roiling Vortex is going to be how we do that damage. Especially if they play like a Mantis Rider right now. So the Hopeful Initiates get like super big. Coppercoat Vanguard. Oh, doesn't that turn off training though? Oh wait, no, because Sanctifier now has higher. Wow, that is rough. All right, so we take 9. Go to 8. We could block one of the Hopeful Initiates. Doesn't do anything. Or we can attack. Bring them to 9. Because they won't block, I don't think. Then we have 7 damage. But then we die next turn. Because we're not going to bolt one of their guys is the thing. I think we risk it. I think we just see if we can sneak in with the Goblin God attack. Monastery Swift Spear. So I can play Monastery Swift Spear. And then I can bolt their face. We're going to take 5. I think that's the best we can do here. We're going a little slow. But I don't see how this goes much better. Because we block the 2 guys, we also get to deal them 3. I guess that's the best we can hope for. Really could have used like a land, truth be told. But being red and being on the defense is not where you want to be. Also, your opponent playing a pro-red creature when you're more or less playing mono-red is also not where that is awful. That is the worst thing that could have happened. They just swing with everything, right? Okay, what blocks? So those 3 kill us, so we have to block there. We'll block one of the 3s. And I mean, we're not going to win on defense. So we need to bolt their face as well. The problem is now there's no world where Swift Spear gets passed. So I don't think there's any way we can... What? Oh, that had plus... Oh, whoopsie. Would we have won if we had drawn a card? No, that wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it either. Okay, we were dead either way. All right. Against just a wall of creatures. We don't... Again, this is a highly tuned meta fighting deck. And we don't really have a ton that's going to stop them. I mean, I guess Deflecting Palm is okay. Searing Blazes would have been a lot better, but they're getting like Ward and stuff. I don't think bringing in our own Sanctifiers does anything. Or Firewalkers also don't seem to... I honestly don't think we have anything to bring in, if we're being honest about it. I think the Roiling Vortex. Okay, I think we just keep this as is, and we just hope to draw a better hand. All right. That was also on a mull to 5 we got smashed. Cool, no lands. No lands twice. And finally, we get a good hand. That would look great if we got to keep all 7 cards, but we don't. So I think we actually give up on the Monetary Swift Spear, and we give up on the Boros Charm, because we have to go very fast. Our opponent mulled to 6, which is interesting. Comes our Goblin Guide. Oh, it isn't John White. Okay, the problem is we had to mull to find lands for so long, and that's just deck construction, truth be told. Deck construction and luck. I think a lot of this deck was just hoping that, oh, you play so many Champion of the Parish, we probably have to get that out of the way, is just relying on so much luck sort of thing. Bloodstained Mire. Well, I'm done drawing lands, deck. Thank you very much. We'll just get a mount. Bolt this thing out of the way, because after this round, the creature... I mean, then again, they could play like a pro-red creature, and I could feel like an idiot for even bothering with that. Shining Shoal. So they had to get rid of something, but oh man, that's some tech I was not expecting. I mean, we lose now. We blew our wad. We mulled to 5 though, but it's interesting that we just had nothing for this mono white deck. But I think that kind of plays into what I said, which is you really don't have much to do once you they're at 15. We're not going to burn them out. I just don't want them to have anything. They can redraw a card. It's fine. You go up against a non-meta deck, and this deck just has nothing. It falls apart. Now, this deck was made for the Pro Tour. In the Pro Tour, you expect to face mostly meta decks. But yeah, Fortified Beachhead, really? They pay 3 mana for Sanctifire. Now our creatures don't do anything. Fiery Islet. Okay, well, at least we can redraw. On deck. I knew we were going to find creatures the moment they had Sanctifier, because Sanctifier just blocks our entire creature field now. And because we don't have Eidolon at all, Eidolon would normally be pretty good against a deck like this, because they're playing so many small humans, and every time they played a human, they would have taken 2. But now, they can just play things with impunity. So I think that's a fancy way to say this this match is already over. Dahlia's Lieutenant, rough. And we don't have any Wraths. We don't have any, like, Angers. We don't have anything to try and combat this deck. So I think we're just kind of donezo, if I'm being honest. Monastery Swiftspear. We're not going to win with Monastery Swiftspear, but we'll play it out. I mean, the only thing we can hope for at this point, because pretend like we're in the Pro Tour. Pretend that this matters, and, you know, this is like the big thing. You wouldn't scoop, you would try and play this out, because we are in a top deck off, but your opponent has, you know, pro creatures and other stuff like that. Oh, good. The creatures are going to get bigger. Another Thalia's Lieutenant. I'm sorry, guys. I can't. I got to go to the next match. I'm done here. Why does it never... Doesn't matter if it's a one-on-one or a league or whatever. You never get to see your next. Anyway, going on to game 2. All right, we won a die roll, which is nice. This looks like a quintessential burn hand. But then again, like, that might be what this deck is going for. It's just like, hey, you got this far into the high echelons of Magic playing. Maybe you should just rely on luck. Opponent mulligan to 6. A lot of mulligan going on these days in Modern. I think maybe with the newest mulligan style, people are just, you know, getting real used to building their decks in a greedy way and just mulliganing until you find a better hand. Now, that doesn't work a ton with burn, because you need to be able to do a lot of damage in your opening hand, because unless you're playing like my version, oh, it's a mirror. Unless you're playing like my version of burn, where you have, you know, Dragon Rage Channelers and Baubles and like all that other fun stuff, you really don't get a chance to, you know, like draw and stuff. All right, so he's going to hit me with a goblin. Sure, you are the critics. That's fine. We're going to play a Bloodstained Miner. We're going to attack, and we're going to kill his Goblin Guide on his turn with Searing Blaze, which is why I played the Shockland out first and not the fetch. So game 2 just becomes... Game 2 and 3 are just a game of who finds their pro-red creatures first. I wonder how heavily you're supposed to mull in that scenario. Vortex, sure. Now we can kill it. We draw? No, we don't. Well, another Skewer, so we get to deal a lot of damage turn. So play this, smack him with the Goblin Guide. Lava Spike, sure thing. Skewer, and no reason to cast the Bolt yet. They're not gonna have counter spells in their deck. I mean, this is their turn to go off, because they can deal us like 9, no problem. Nope, they decide to scoop it. All right, so you literally just take all of your pro-red creatures and put them in. You can get rid of the Rift Bolts, because Roiling Vortex is our thing, and I think we can get rid of maybe even some of the Roiling Vortexes, because they're not great in Mirror. Yeah, and then we're gonna decide when we hit start, like, how quickly we want to just get our pro-red creatures down. Obviously, we both have Skullcrack, so we can both stop protection at some point. But, you know, you get down something like that, you just try and win out from there. So let's try it. All right, we have a pro-red creature in hand, so I think we just keep this, even though we don't have a turn 1 play. Goblin Guide? Okay, nothing. That's good. I think we both did the same thing. I think we're both keeping hands that have pro-red stuff. We're going to play Scalding Tarn. We're 1,000% done with land, though. We don't want to run into any more land. So they're probably going to play either a Sanctifier or a Core Firewalker, because they kept a hand that did nothing too. Yep, all right, so we both had the same idea. Oh no, I didn't fetch. Oh well, it's not like I'm playing against Burn or something. Let me put myself 2 damage more for no reason. I'm bad at magic. So while Skullcrack can stop your opponent from gaining life, and it also stops protection, you still can't target something with protection. Ooh, they had a path. That's not good at all. So we probably lose now. Goblin Guide. We definitely lose now. I don't think we're even going to lose by 2. I think we're going to lose by a lot. We get to draw our land, though. We didn't want to draw any more lands. Oh, no. So many lands. So many lands. You know what? We're even gonna do this, and we'll pass from here. I think we just got outplayed because our version of Burn wasn't even playing any paths for mirrors, but rough. I think the best thing we could do is just deal them a bunch of damage. Hope that their hand is more like anti-our white stuff. Admittingly, we had white stuff, so it was smart for them to have it, but I'm hoping that they overboarded in that regard, and like their hand is like 2 more paths. Because they just deal us 4 here. We go to 7, they bolt us twice, you know, we go to 1, and that's the game. On top of our deck, Roiling Vortex, so we'll definitely shuffle that away, depending on how much damage they do. I mean, they could also be waiting for us to put ourselves to 6 to double bolt us. I mean, we need the mana to do this, and we also don't want to draw Roiling Vortex, so... Okay, we're not dead yet, which is surprising. I also don't see how we win from here. Monastery Swift Spear. So, we have 3 mana left, we play another thing, we have 2 mana left, but we draw another card. But whatever we draw is not going to be better than what we have anyway. We play Swifty, just keep Swifty on D, maybe? These fetch lands do literally nothing now. I think our best chance is to just stay on D and hope they don't have multiple burn spells while playing against burn. If their hand's full of land, then we have a chance. Boros Charm? Yep, that's just the game. Would have drawn a Firewalker. That would have been nice. All right, so what happened? Was it just that we went first? Might have just been that we went first. Also, they're playing paths, and we just don't have those, so try again. Again, this hand seems great. We both kept 7, which is the first time for everything, I suppose. Play Sacred Foundry. Lava Spike our opponent. Their turn 1 is hopefully not Goblin. Goblin Guide would probably be the worst thing to see right now. Okay, Swifty's not the worst. Take 1, go to 16. Next turn, we're literally taking another 3 and going to play Sanctifier. If they have the path again, they have the path again. Now, I do want to point out, I do have 4 Inspiring Vantages in this deck. They just don't like coming out of the deck. Who would have guessed? So here's our blocker. If they kept a path, they kept a path. Otherwise, that will at least stop the bleeding on Swifty, and then we can play our own Swifty and bolt, or even just keep up Boros Charm. Please don't be path. Okay, just their own Sanctifier. So we now make faces at each other from across the river line. So now, like, a land that doesn't deal us damage is the best pull. Swift Spear. Now, we could just set up here and play 2 Swift Spears, and then next turn hope to get multiple bolts. They would probably just block. Or do we just play Boros Charm, bring them to 7, play another Boros Charm, bring them to 3, and then we bolt? Okay, so I think we just do that. I think we just stay on the defensive. We keep our mana up to Boros Charm. If they attack with Sanctifier, that's fine, because that means the next turn we can play Swifties. Yeah, that's fine. Because unless they play another pro-red creature, this means now we get to counter-supply and Ooh, they had another Sanctifier, that's why they did that. Alright, so I'm glad I didn't block. Okay, now take your hand off the mouse, Brian, because you need to do something on your end step. Specifically, that. Another Boros Charm. So I think for the sake of blocking their stuff, I'll play a Swift Spear. I won't attack, but we'll be blocking this turn, essentially, and just trying not to... If we don't die this turn, we probably win. Now, however, if they, like, remove both our creatures, swing, and then bolt, we're very sad. They got a 3rd land. That's probably not a good sign. Okay? Just a regular spike. Go to 8. Skewer the Critic. That's not good. You go to 5. They need 1 more. Lightning Bolt. You go to 2. And now we just die off a creature. So that was the risk. I mean, they found the 3rd land. We found multiple Swift Spears. We obviously block that. Block that. And then, like, the best thing we can do is bolt them, bring them to 5. And that's as close as we were going to get to winning this. I mean, they found more... Yeah, okay, there's our... You find more pro-red creatures, you find more pro-red creatures. These are things that happen. All right, 0-2, going on to match 3. All right, we've won the die roll. Let's see if we can turn that into a match win or 2. No lands, that's a good start. All right, that's better. We'll keep this, put that back. We'll just go get, and here comes Gobby Boy. Very Time Raveler, so some kind of control, some kind of rhinos, all those fun sorts of things. Next turn, come on, don't have it. Oh, don't have the removal. Yep, there comes removal. There's so much removal in white decks now. All right, well, at least we get to keep trying. Our life total does not matter as they are playing control. Here comes Swifty, Lava Spike. We have like 2 more turns to close this game out. Solitude. There is so much removal in this game now. So much removal. And the thing is, like, we run through our hands so quickly that they just get to gain a benefit from that. The thing is, we have the Roiling Vortexes in the main to try and stop that. The problem is we already know they have a Teferi in their hand. They can just bounce it and then play their free spells. So you can see why things like Roiling Vortex, of course I give them a land for free. Oh no, they have more removal! Was it Leylines Binding? They're gonna go get a Triome and then Leylines Binding the Goblin Guide? This is what always amazes me about people who like main burn. Yeah, no, they're gonna Leylines Binding. That's amazing. Okay, I guess not yet. And the Rift Bolt. Man, this is why like my version of burn had like Ragavans and stuff to try and like snowball some value here and maybe like use their Teferi against them. Renin 6. Okay. So this actually might be like a Omnath deck. So we'll keep Skullcrack in our hand until we absolutely need to play it to stop the 4 life gain. They could play Omnath as early as next turn. Wait, Inspiring Vantage. See, this deck is lands when I don't need them, spells when I can't play them. All right, so we're gonna wait until their turn, and we're also gonna wait until they're relatively tapped out. Leylines Binding, we don't even get to hit. Oh man, so much removal. Yeah, no, we wait until they're tapped out because Force of Negation is a thing, and we don't feel like getting forced when we're trying to like get them down that last couple of damage. Nissa Resurgent. I don't see them gaining any life, so while they're tapped out, I'm just gonna Skullcrack them. All right, so now we are absolutely out of things to do. They have a 3/3, so none of our creatures work. If we draw like a fetch land or a non-crackable land, we've lost. We've lost momentum here. Okay, they put themselves to 1. That's even such BM. Okay, they get to go find their elemental. Or another Nissa, truth be told. Yep, they found another Nissa. Pick their land up. Skullcrack. Well, they're tapped out, but Force of Negation is a thing, is the problem. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see how they tap their lands. Because if they just tap out for Omnath, we snap off Skullcrack. And if they do nothing, we try and Skullcrack them in their end step. It's fine. They could always Solitude their own creature too. Okay. I'm not gonna get better than now. Hey, we got there. All right. Against Omnath. Bear Tears, probably. Collecting Palms, maybe. We have all of our stuff to try and get them like in the game already in the deck. I think Deflecting Palms is not where we want to be. Wear Tear would blow up what? Their Leylines Binding to get our creatures back. Our creatures that once they're gone really don't do anything. I literally think we don't put anything in the deck. Like there's nothing in here that would really help us, right? Like they don't really do artifacts. Like there's so many colors that doesn't matter. Deflecting Palm's kind of cute. They're not like a Rhino deck, so Chalice doesn't do anything. And Wear Tear is like way too slow. So I think we literally just hope to have another good 7 and to win that way. Let's try it. This is a lot of land in a Rolling Vortex, so we'll mull this. This is better. This is better. We'll keep and we'll put back what? Yes. It's either the Searing Blaze, because like that we can really only target, it can target their element too, I guess. Searing Blaze or Skewer the critics. Yeah. I'm already mulled to 5. So let's get rid of the Searing Blaze and just try and do damage. All right, so we just start with good old Swifty. Oh wait, no, our opponent gets to go first. They lost. So this uphill battles and all that. All right, Sunbait Canyon. 50, swing it in. The next turn, if they don't have something, I think we do just go off with Lightning Bolt, Skewer the critics, Monastery for 3, put them to 10. They're going nice and slow. I feel like our Monastery Swift Spear is not long for this world. So let's Scalding Tarn. Crack. Just get a mountain. Lightning Bolt our opponent. We need to do this at sorcery speed because Skewer is a sorcery. Putting them to 10 is great and all, but yeah, see. Once they start removing our creature, it's infinitely worse. Now, if they had a Ephemerate, that would have been awful, but luckily we put them down to 2 cards in hand now. They had to get rid of a veto. We don't have a ton more damage, however, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. They don't do anything. Roiling Vortex. I do think we try and get that down. If they have a counter spell, they have a counter. They don't. Great. So now we can even stop them from gaining life, which is nice. However, if they do just play Teferi, then I believe the term is Womp Womp. Like if their last card in hand is Teferi land, then they get to bounce our Rolling Vortex. They essentially get to Time Walk us. I have enough souls, really? Elemental. Oh, okay, so it's Omnath time. The One Ring. Yep, that's a thing. Luckily, we're doing stuff at instant speed anyway. Oh. So the One Ring didn't do a ton, actually. Now, the problem is... Actually, no, we can stop them from gaining life. So we're in a decent spot here. Renin 6, sure. That's not something I'm awfully worried about. What's interesting to me is they're not drawing cards with the One Ring. White, red, Boros Charm. We deal... I mean, if their last card is a counterspell, their last card's a counterspell. Seems like we might finally take one. Trying to draw out of it. Hey, we finally get one. 1 and 2. Let's go to match 4. All right, so here we are in round 4. We've lost the die roll, which is not a great place to be in this deck. The hand's fine, though. 3 and 4 is keepable. Hopefully, I mean, like, even want them to play. Does Triome pass? Temple Garden. Oh, is this like a... Ooh. Lighted Halfling. The Lighted Halfling has the same problem and the same, you know, lack of lesson learned that Deathrite Shaman had. Do not make your mana Dorks 1-2 in this game. Because now it stops so many aggro strategies when you have a 2-power creature on turn 1 that gives you so much upside. Like, what, they're going to play Teferi now? Gilded Goose. Oh, they're ramping into something. I can't do much on this side. We do get to kill the Delighted Halfling, though. In fact, we get to kind of choose what we kill. I don't think they block. Yep, thought so. So the Gilded Goose can make food. I've already made a food. As the game gets longer and longer, the making food's gonna get worse and worse. I think we just take out the Delighted Half. Like, if they spend their entire next turn just making another food, I'm okay with this. Like, they do have food later, which is not great for us, but we have a Skullcrack in hand. They gotta protect their Delighted Halfling somehow. Oh no, they're just gonna take damage, right? We have 9 damage in hand. They do have food, but we can Skullcrack. So unless they, like, eat the food right now, we should be fine. Another Gilded Goose. See, that's the opposite of what I wanted to say. Is now they're making food for free. Boros Charm. So we can safely Lava Spike them. Deal some extra damage. And then on their turn, if they try and do anything, we have the Skullcrack. They're not going to block with these geese. I mean, they might actually block with the goose, seeing as how they would go to 6, and 6 is the danger. Port of Calling, sure. Cauldron Familiar. That's not great. I like that they're only gaining 1 life, though. We'll Skullcrack here. I don't think they're going to gain life. I think they're going to want to loop that. So they need to eat the food at this point. Otherwise, we have them with the burn spells in our hand. Yeah, you can attack with the cat. No, they didn't. Well, I suppose they're going to sack it. Goblin Guide. So if we attack, well, if we Boros Charm and then Skewer, they eat the food. I guess we have a land, though, so we can just Goblin Guide and just go swinging. See what they do. Be Rainforest, so they got a free card out of us. Coco is not good. Coco is actually the worst. Another Gilded Goose, but now they don't have the ability to... Okay. Get to make a lot, but it doesn't actually do much. Hey. If they get one of each, that's fine. They get to block, but I think we have 7 damage, though. So, Boros Charm. You have another cord? Yeah, it looks like it. You need to sack the treasure, though, yeah. Wise game. That's going to make them a lot. All right, the problem now is burn be burned. They get to gain 1 life. Oh, no. Now they get to create multiples. Oh, they still don't have enough to sack the food, though, so we should still win. Hey, we get there. All right, so smashes seem good. That's about it. I mean, Wear Tear, maybe? I think we just take out, let's slow here. 2 Rift Bolts, put in 2 Smashes, try that. So I think too many lands. I think way too many lands. Okay, we can try this. We don't need 2 Roiling Vortexes, I don't think. Delighted Halfling, so we'll open up with Goblin Guide. 2 Forgrown Tomb. Enjoy your free card, opponent. Next turn, we'll have some decisions to make. Because I have to assume they just play Goose. Samwise Gamgee. I have a way of killing that I want to. So Gilded Goose make 2 food tokens? Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen. Another Rift Bolt. So we have nothing that can kill anything just off the bat. So you just play Monetary Swift Spear, suspend a Rift Bolt, attack with Goblin Guide. Cauldron, that's not great. They're 12. I mean, the bolts next turn are going to be weird as to what we do. Cauldron Familiar, sure thing, boss. So many foods. I think we just have to start getting Roiling Vortex down. This for Seer, sure. Yep, and they just kind of start draining us now because we don't have the ability to stop them from doing this, so they gotta gain 4. Oh, it's infinite. Aha. Okay. Infinite combo, you say? We do now. Oh, okay, Sanctifiers. Sanctifiers. Take the smashes out. Final Rift Bolts, I guess, because we need them to not do that. All right. I mean, it's a good burn hand. I don't think we can keep mulling like so aggressively to our hate pieces. We have 2 Sacred Foundries in our hand, which means our fetches are pretty weak. One it mulls to 5, which is probably the lowest you can mull to in any deck that's not Dredge or Tron. If they mull to 4, that'd be amazing. Okay, they didn't get that greedy. Mountain, Goblin Guide, swing with Gobby Bolt. Windswept Heath. Enjoy your free card, opponent. Hoping you didn't need that Windswept Heath. I'm hoping your hand is nothing but lands. Lighted Halfling. Well, we have a Searing Blaze, so that is not a problem. Inspiring Vantage. We're done with lands deck. We would like no more lands. None, please and thank you. Samwise Gamgee. That's not good. We just need to start drawing like things that hit really hard. Heath, sure. Probably just get a basic. Oh, okay. No fear out of the opponent. Samwise Gamgee. I think we kill that. I don't think we can let that live, but we'll do some math. Skewer the Critic. Okay, and we have 3 mana. So I attack, they don't block with either. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so if we attack and they don't block, we win. Sweet. All right, burn doing burn things. And we're even. Time to go to the final game to fight for positive. All right, here we are, final game. We won a die roll, which is very good for this deck. Yeah, no, no, this hand doesn't actually get much better. Our opponent mulled to 6. You love to see it. Mulled to 5. Let's go. Let's go. All right, Inspiring Vantage. An amazing card when you actually draw them. Goblin Guide. Swing for 2. Skewer the Critics. Okay, another mirror. What I really want him to do is suspend a Rift Bolt so I can Roiling Vortex him. That is what would be ideal. No play, it seems. All right, so we're going to swing with Goblin Guide. They're going to bolt it. Yep. Oh, fancy lightning bolts. We got a burn mastermind over here. Well, they even get to the thing. We're going to play the Vortex. Hopefully this strands some cards in their hand. I mean, I realize we have our own Rift Bolts, but we also have more life. And we can also just wait until we have a third land to do something about it. Sunbake Canyon. So we're not going to suspend Rift Bolt. We're just going to pass. Neither of us have any creatures right now, so we're just going to be doing stuff on each other's end step at all times. Yep, there it is. Boros Charm would be the worst thing. They do have to take a damage, though. Okay, well, luckily for us, a Vortex is in play and has already dealt them 2 damage. I also have a Boros Charm opponent. Pinged. Draw a Searing Blaze. Well, again, we just passed. Nothing to do here. They'll have plenty of damage in our hand. Pretty much, I think whoever gets a creature first is just going to do the best. Like, if he plays land into Swifty into 2 bolts, we're literally dead. Oh, no. We called it. We literally called it. I think what's going to happen here is we take 1 and then they spectacle their skewer. Yep. I think we win, though. As long as they don't pass through my turn here, or their end step more accurately. We get to Boros Charm them, and then we get to Skull Crack them, and that's the game. Right. The problem is next time they get to be on the play. All right, we know what we're doing. Just all the stuff. Take out the Rift Bolts because there's so many Rolling Vortexes. I think what's worse after that is the Skull Cracks, because no one's... people do kind of gain some... I'll take out the Skull Cracks. I'll try it. Probably the worst after the Rift Bolts, but we'll see how we do. It's actually very important to win the die roll in these matches. We have a pro white creature and 2 white lands. We actually have a lot of creatures too. Best thing would be if they had no play. Oh, no, they got a Goblin Guide. Okay, so, ow, that's gonna hurt. We draw a land, that's probably fine. We did draw a land, okay. We're not gonna play that land though. Yeah, you can tell by the cards that this guy has. He's been playing burn for a while. So Inspiring Vantage, play our own Goblin Guide, and it's a race. No reason not to attack. They have a Swifty, so we're gonna play Sanctifier next turn. And then from there, we try and do stuff. If they play Firewalker, that's not great. Another Goblin Guide. Okay, so they kept a creature-heavy hand. They kept an incredibly creature-heavy hand. Interesting. Their Goblin Guides are old, but their Swift Spear is new. Maybe they just like the art better. We would love to draw lands here, because that means we don't have to waste our turn drawing them. Lava Spike, sure. We get pretty crunched. All right, so we do have to spend a turn and a life getting the Sanctifier down. The question is, do we start to stay on D? Because we can only block 1. I think we stay on D, which is actually kind of sad, but is what it is. If they want to spend one of their burn spells on the Goblin Guide, that actually is good for us. Man, a Searing Blaze would hurt so much. Lava Spike, sure. You gotta attack with everything, big guy. So what we do here is we trade a Goblin Guide and we just block the Swifty in case they have 2 more bolts in their hand. We're not just dead. Because they clearly had something in their hand. Skull Crack, sure. That's actually gonna kill our Sanctifier. All right, we draw another Lava Spike. So we play Inspiring Vantage. We play Swift Spear, unfortunately on defense. I think we're pretty dead here, but I think the best thing we can do is pass. I know we have a Lava Spike, but we don't want to go to 3 here. Path Ardu, sure. We'll get a mountain. We still have a bolt, so we still might be alive. If their last card is just a land and they're just swinging like this. We bolt Swifty. If they have any spell, we're dead. We're gonna go to 1 though, or 2 rather, which is not where you want to be. And I don't think we're gonna deal 15 damage on our turn. Oh, they did a lightning bolt, you troll. All right, we're proving that being on the play is very good. Let's try that again. All right, I'd love to play. Sure. If they kept a creature heavy hand, this is great. If we draw more lands, that is, but creature removal is quite good. Generally, when you're playing these red decks, I always prefer just to try and keep their creatures clear, because that's, when you're playing so many bolts and all that, that's kind of where you find yourself. If we actually draw lands, this is fine. They do nothing, we just get Rolling Vortex down. I feel like they're going to get a creature down. It'll probably be a Goblin Guide. If we draw a land off a Goblin Guide, see? This will be great if we draw a land off a Goblin Guide. If we don't draw a land off a Goblin Guide, then we know our second and third Searing Blaze are going to be rough. Okay, we found a land, so now we're in a little bit of a better spot. Or Firewalker. I don't think that's where we're at yet. I think we're still in race mode. If they spend their turn getting a core Firewalker down, we will get our own down. But while the hitting's good, we're still going to hit. Hopefully they choose to deal themselves 3 here. Nope. All right, so it's not going to be a pro-white creature. Another Goblin Guide, so please be all you have. Okay, so they have a Lightning Bolt in hand, so they're going to kill our Swifty is the thing. And our hand is full of 2-drops. Yeah, skewer. I think we still kill the Goblin Guide. It's our last chance to, really. I mean, we're in the lead at the moment because we went first. If we draw another land next turn, that would be amazing. I can't tell you how amazing that would be. And that deals them damage. Nothing. Okay, cool. Land, land, land. Yes. All right, so first thing we do is we play the Core Firewalker. Now, if they have the path, they have the path. Volta, sure. Oh, they have to do everything now because, yeah, they don't want me to gain life. Oh, they're going to draw a card. Cool. Desperation is amazing. All right, we play the Roiling Vortex. Bring them to 8. We're going to Boris Charm them to 4. Oh, okay, so they probably have the path, but they put themselves to 6. Path. Okay, that's fine. No. We don't have any more basics. Damage. Oh, and we win. We win the match. What's this? Showcase Championship Qualifier Point. I've never actually gotten one of those. 100 play points, so we get our points back and we get a chest. You know what? Let's open the chest. All right. So we got our play points back. I'm not sure what you do with a qualifier point, but I sure have one. What do we get in the chest? Tree of... That's so awful. And 15 play points. So now we have 2 leagues. All right, let's just talk about the deck now. All right, so how did we do here? We went 3-2. First 2 matches, I think, was also me learning the deck a bit. I definitely misplayed in that first mirror match, so I'm sure everyone who clicked off at that point. But again, I have never claimed to be a pro. I am not a pro. I tend not to play at anything more serious than an FNM, only because I'm not that kind of person. I can't get that serious about the silly card game. And the silly card game is very fun. Obviously, I play a lot of silly card game, but I'm not going to go to a pro tour. I'm not going to go to anything where people are going to be like really upset, or more accurately, have a reason to be upset if they lose. Whereas in an FNM, yeah, sometimes people get salty, but it's an FNM. We're playing for packs, not life-saving medical devices here, folks. Deck is okay. I think Burn is always a barometer to see what can and cannot exist in Modern. And as you saw here, in the league queue, we ran into 2 other Burn decks. We had 2 mirror matches out of 5. That's a pretty high percent. Burn is always going to be a high percent because you can just grind with it. Technically, we got 15 bonus play points out of this in a mythic I am never going to use for anything. But again, you can grind with this deck, and you can probably get very good with it and see all the lines and not misplay like I did, but there's a ceiling to Burn. And the ceiling to Burn is you're not going to take down these big, massive, crazy tournaments with it. A, because everyone knows what you're doing, and B, it's a swingy deck. It has no card selection, it just has redundancy. So if you end up drawing a bunch of nonsense and you can't complete your game, that's a thing. And also, it's a deck that folds to them having any creatures. It's a deck that folds to them having a creature of 4 power. It's just how the deck works. Burn will always be a thing so long as Modern's metagame always kind of looks the way it looks. And if it looks like that, then Burn will be successful. And if it doesn't look like that, well, then it won't be. I realize that's the floor made a floor, but it is what it is. Have you enjoyed this video? Do you have a list you want me to play? Well, go ahead and email me at heydummyplaythis@gmail.com. That's heydummyplaythis@gmail.com. If I already have the cards, I'll definitely play the list if somebody requests it. If I don't have the cards, if I can get them on the cheap, I'll do it. Otherwise, you know, I'm a F tier YouTuber with under 1,000 subscribers. So I am who I am. But for you folks who made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you next time, and I will talk to you soon. Later.